The year is 1945. World War II has just ended. Germany lies in ruins. Cities are rubble, millions are homeless, and trust in the nation is gone. Once mighty, now broken. How could Germany possibly move on? What would become of its people? Would they ever trust each other again? How could they ever trust a government? How could they ever trust a future? In today's video, we will look at how one of the most powerful nations on Earth went from being broken to rebuilt, and how it came to be so important today. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. We often think of World War II as a war between good and evil. It's easy to see the Axis powers as pure evil, but the reality was much more complex. Countries that we consider good today had their own imperial ambitions, including the USSR, Great Britain, the USA, and France. If these countries hadn't fought each other for global dominance before the war, perhaps the war itself wouldn't have happened. But by 1945, they had a common enemy and together defeated Nazi Germany. Germany was then split up into 4 occupation zones, one of which went to the USSR and the others to the United Kingdom, France, and the United States. And because each power wanted to influence the political future of Germany in their own image, this occupation would lead to a split of the country down the middle. Now, let's take a closer look at what life was like in both parts after the war. The Soviet Union had suffered greatly during the war. Its territory was vast, its resources limited. Much of the USSR was recovering from devastating invasions by the Nazis, and it needed help. To make matters worse, the war left many Soviet soldiers without jobs. For the war, the military had been a source of employment for many Russians. But with peace, many former soldiers struggled to find new work. This led to poverty, homelessness, and hunger. The Soviets desperately needed a solution to feed their citizens. And as a result, in 1946, it issued orders to seize agricultural products from the western zones of Germany. This meant that Germany didn't have enough food to feed its people, and the occupying powers weren't happy about it. They soon responded by introducing rationing systems to ensure that the Germans survived. Meanwhile, while the West worked together to stabilize the country, it was hard to do so with the Soviets there too. As relations between the superpowers worsened, things became increasingly difficult. The other 3 occupying powers continued to discuss a peaceful withdrawal from Germany, but the Soviets showed no signs of doing so. So in 1948, the French, British, and Americans merged their zones into one single state, the Federal Republic of Germany, or West Germany. Soon after, elections were held and the first Chancellor of West Germany, Konrad Adenauer, was elected. The Soviets saw this as a violation of their agreement, and in response, they established a rival state in their zone called the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany. Soon after, a communist government was installed and the country was placed under Soviet control. By 1949, the 2 German states were officially formed. And now, the race to win over the people of Germany began. Both sides wanted the allegiance of the German people. And to do so, they offered them different lifestyles. In the West, the economy was quickly stabilized. People felt safe. They were allowed to travel abroad and express themselves freely. Education and healthcare were free, available to all citizens, and emphasized heavily. In the East, propaganda was used to brainwash children to be loyal communists. It was illegal to own a radio, and people were only allowed to read newspapers approved by the state. Meanwhile, despite all the propaganda, discontent grew. People longed for freedom of speech, religion, and the press. They missed the comfort of knowing that they could speak their mind without repercussions. As time passed, both states wanted more land. The West claimed that they ruled the rightful, democratic Germany and that the East was illegitimate. The Soviets felt threatened by the growing strength of the West and wanted to stop its expansion. And so the Berlin Crisis of 1961 led to the construction of the Berlin Wall, a concrete structure that tore families apart. Over the next 28 years, it stood as a symbol of oppression and the Cold War, but it wasn't until 1989 that it was torn down. It seems the West was winning the hearts of the people. And after the fall of the Berlin Wall, the 2 German states were soon reunited on October 3, 1990. German reunification marked a significant moment in European history. It symbolized the end of the Cold War and the triumph of democracy over communism. But with the fall of the wall came new challenges. East Germany was poor and dilapidated. Its industries were outdated, and its infrastructure was in desperate need of repair. However, this gave way to one of the most important moments in Germany's economic history, the Aufbauerschafternis, or economic miracle. With support from the Marshall Plan, Germany was able to quickly rebuild itself. The U.S. provided billions of dollars to help kickstart the economy, build new homes and schools, and create jobs. The Marshall Plan helped West Germany go from a country of survivors to one of prosperity in just a few years. By 1950, unemployment had fallen to below 1%. By the late 1950s, West Germany was producing more steel than ever before. New highways and buildings were going up across the nation. And by the 1960s, West Germany was experiencing one of the fastest economic growths in history. Today, Germany is one of the strongest economies in the world. The entire nation has grown to become a leader in Europe, a champion of democracy, human rights, and environmental protection. So what lessons can we learn from the German example? First off, we can see how even the mightiest empires can crumble. Germany once dominated Europe. It was known as the sick man of Europe. But after the war, it was on its knees. We can see how nations can change. History's darkest chapters can give way to hope. Germany went from darkness to light. The story shows us that nations aren't static, that they can change. Third, we can see how important cooperation is. After the war, the Allies worked together to rebuild Germany. This cooperation led to remarkable success. Lastly, we can see how important it is to stay true to your values. The German example teaches us to stay true to our values, to be tolerant, to respect diversity, and to promote peace. These are timeless lessons that we need to remember, especially today. Let us take a look at what role Germany plays today and how it impacts the rest of Europe. Germany is a federal parliamentary republic located in Central Europe. It is the second largest economy in Europe, right behind Russia, and the fourth largest in the world. Its GDP is almost $4 trillion. It is also a major exporter of automobiles, chemicals, machinery, and food products. Germany is the second largest exporter in the world. It is also a leader in renewable energy. Almost half of its electricity comes from renewable sources such as wind and solar. Despite its economic and political might, Germany is deeply affected by its past. It is committed to peace and understanding. The country has made significant efforts to come to terms with its Nazi past. It has established memorial sites, museums, and education programs to remember the victims of the Holocaust and the atrocities committed. During World War II, Germany has also been a strong supporter of Israel since its founding in 1948. Moreover, Germany has played an active role in promoting peace and reconciliation in Europe and around the world. It has hosted numerous international conferences and summits, and has been a key player in the European Union's SEU efforts to promote democracy and human rights. Germany is home to several iconic landmarks and cultural institutions. Some of the most famous include the Brandenburg Gate, the Reichstag Building, the Cologne Cathedral, and the Neuschwanstein Castle. Germany has a rich cultural heritage and is home to many renowned universities, research institutions, and cultural organizations. Some of the most famous universities include the University of Heidelberg, the University of Munich, and the University of Berlin. Germany also has a thriving arts scene with numerous theaters, concert halls, and museums throughout the country. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know in the comments what you thought of the video and what country you want us to talk about next. We will see you next time.